Aka Peter, you know. That Peter Aka, the activist, he has been on this issue, electoral reform. He has been on it. He has been campaigning. Sometimes he goes just him and a few people. He has been campaigning on this issue, you know. And we saw with the recent development, we saw Peter Obi joining the protest, and other people have been doing protests, It was interesting to see that Peter Obi joins the protest, such that even Deji Adeyanju, who used to criticize Peter Obi a lot, praised Peter Obi for coming out for the protest, and then we saw other people coming out, joining protests. It was interesting to see, that, the political leaders would come out and join protests. It was interesting to see. We'll see how that will play out when 2027 comes. We'll see how it plays out. I've always described Obi as a non-activist leader of an activist movement, and Obi is not suited for this radical activism, people going on protests and all that. Obi is someone that if he gets into power and has power, he can do things that are, groundbreaking and, but he's not the one that will go on the street and be fighting and all that. He's a kind, nice gentleman who has very firm principles which he abides by. It's those principles that he will use if he gets into power. The problem has always been how he can get there, But you see, he joined the protests, there was some momentum on that. And then the National Assembly did what the National Assembly would do, see opposition lawmakers, see all that took place, all the drama and all that. But as I've always said, these people are smart. The ruling people are smart, they are strategic, and they will just play along. You think they don't know what they are doing. You think that somebody who did not participate in primaries and now eventually court said you are the candidate, court said you won. Somebody who knows that, he or she doesn't stand a chance of winning, but somehow the court said he or she won. You expect somebody, just like somebody who cheated. Somebody did exam malpractice. He did not write the exam himself. He got somebody to write the exam for him or her. And the person, through that way, the person now passed the exam. You now expect that when the person cheated and passed the exam, you now expect that person to now go and supervise exam and make sure that nobody cheats, or you now expect the person, you cheated in one exam and that is how you now passed. You expect the person, when it comes to another exam, the person now say, I know I cheated in that last exam, but this next exam, I'm not going to cheat again. I'm going to do the right thing. No. These people know what they did for them to get into power. And they know that it wasn't by following all due process and all of that. And so, you don't really expect them to do or act different. Are you really expecting them to act differently? No. This has been the play, and this has been the strategy. And for 2027, these people are playing a long game, putting things in place and stuff like that. The unfortunate thing is that the opposition is still divided. Opposition is very divided. Opposition has ADC, PDP, Labour, Accord Party. Opposition is still all over the place. You still have egos, people with big egos saying they want to become president, not minding if their popular or not, not minding if they can muster what it takes to really win. So you have a fractured opposition. You have people with big egos who don't want to see beyond the fact that they want to be president, you know. And with this kind of divided opposition, there's really look back at 2014, 2015. Look at how the organized opposition was well organized and had the mount pressure on the Jonathan administration from home and abroad and all of that. And they ensured that they're able to emerge and remove Jonathan as a president. We're not seeing that now. Position is divided and a lot of big egos and stuff like that. And so, in the first place, the thing that's supposed to happen by now, the position is supposed to be coalescing, you know, coalesce and join hands, you know. By now, the opposition should have a viable platform that could attract people from other parties, you know. Now, what the one that seems strongest now is ADC. But ADC now has has egos, people with big egos who want to be president and who've been fighting to be president for donkey years. You understand? Who don't want to see any other thing than they want to be president. You have that. And so with this situation now, what are you really expecting that's going to play out? Because this government, the only thing that could have worked is if there's a lot of pressure from from democracies around the world, putting pressure on the current government to ensure that the elections are free and fair, to ensure the elections are credible and all that. It's that kind of pressure that could have, on a good day, the kind of pressure that the opposition put on Jonathan. They went to US, went to other places, and there was pressure from the US, pressure from Europe and all that, on the Jonathan government so that the elections were credible and stuff like that. You know, that kind of pressure now is not that kind of pressure is not being applied here. Because the opposition is disunited and don't seem to be able to get their acts together. You know, so that is that.